Hello everyone and my fellow gamers, and welcome to today's video. Thank you very much for joining me. Now today I want to talk about pre-orders, and we all know we shouldn't do it, but we all still kind of do. That's why they do them. And I've actually already done a video about pre-orders. If you want to go check that out in the corner, I'll put a link. Now that was about the worst pre-orders that I found anyway in my research. Just honestly bad, actually just like bad quality, or just like in very poor taste. I'll put that in the corner, you can go watch that. It's a fun video, I like it. But today's video is going to be about the complete opposite. Today's video is going to be about expensive pre-orders, fancy pre-orders, pre-orders that honestly you'll be amazed that these were even on offer, and surprised that anyone bought them, if anyone did. I mean, I'm not sure they did, to be honest, but we'll see about that in the following list. Anyway, I know it's not spooky season, but I bought and carved a load of pumpkins with my wife, and I want to show them off. So they're staying there. It's my video, and I'm making that choice. So if you watch any shows like American Pickers or the Antiques Roadshow, you'll know that people will collect anything. And I mean anything. Old coins, signs, literally anything. Old packaging material for some people. Toys, obviously a good one. I myself am you can see a bit of a sucker for some Lego, particularly Star Wars or space related I quite enjoy. So, bearing that in mind, think about gamers. I feel gamers are a bit of a different breed to most. I mean, the games themselves are filled with collectibles, whether that be weird little Easter eggs and packages you need to collect, or whether it's locations you just need to visit, a la Assassin's Creed. Video games are stuffed full of collectibles, and sometimes it's not even in the game itself, it's the achievements. People collect the achievements, achievement hunters. We all know we've been sucked in by that before, trying to get 100% completion. We're suckers for it in the gaming world, and developers know that. So, they produce these collectible editions. And now most of these include your standard random tat. You know, maybe an art book, maybe the soundtrack, maybe some stickers or something. And a lot of them come with like a steel bookcase to, keep the game in. It looks pretty. Some are a little special. And those are the ones I want to talk about today. The truly magnificent, the unbelievable, the gaming collectible editions for the 1%. I just realised I did too. Take two. The gaming collectibles for the 1%. I'm hoping by the end of this video, you will realise just quite how insane some of these can get. Side note, I will actually be mentioning everything today in dollars, because that's what I could find on my research. So that's why I'm not working it out in pounds. A lot of these games are quite old as well, so I am simply listing what they cost at the time of release, not what you can find them now for like on eBay and whatnot. Without any further ado, let's move on. Now, to kick off today's list, I want to start with Red Dead Redemption 2's Collector's Edition box. Now, this cost $100, and that sounds kind of pricey for a video game. So, let's check out what you actually got for your money here. Okay, now this was quite a few things, so I'm actually going to be reading these off the screen. What you got was a metal tithing box with lock and key, a treasure map, a double-sided puzzle, 12 cigarette cards, a collectible challenge coin, a 6-shooter bandana, which in fairness I would actually really want, playing cards, a pin set, and a Wheeler Ronson & Co. catalogue. The in-game catalogue that you buy from, you get a real version one. Nice! For $100, that sounds like quite a good deal, doesn't it? Note, however, it does not in fact come with a copy of the game itself, because this is for the person who loves RDR2 merch, has no intention of playing the game. Game sucks. Now, I'm making fun here, but actually for $100 for the Red Dead Redemption 2 fan, I actually think that's pretty good. I wouldn't have minded something like this myself, if I'm honest. Okay, next up, with a bit of a price hike, we have Assassin's Creed Origins Dawn of the Creed edition, which cost you a princely $800 at launch, so a bit of a step up here on the price. So, Origins, as we all know, acted as somewhat of a soft reboot for the series, and honestly, in my opinion, somewhat revitalised it. It was the first AC game I'd played in a while, and I loved it. But onto what you actually got for the princely sum of $800, shall we check that out? So you got 2 steel bookcases, and no, they could not be used together, which means one of them was spare? You see, this is a bit of a running trend, actually, multiple steel bookcases, but whatevs. So you also got an artwork book, which is fairly standard stuff, and you also got some signed lithographs signed by the developers of the game, the lead developers. You also got yourself a copy of the soundtrack, and some of the better stuff in this bundle is coming up now, a hand-drawn map, and honestly, this thing is pretty cool. I get that. Also with this bundle came a resin cast replica of Bayek's eagle skull amulet that he wears. And of course you got a resin statue of Bayek himself. So that sounds like quite a lot of good stuff, doesn't it? But remember, $800. Where's that money going? Honestly, I think it's to the hand-drawn map. Hand-drawn artwork costs a lot of money, man. And yeah, I just don't see the value here. $800 seems massively excessive for what you actually got. But as you'll see, this is chump change. In at the next spot, we have Resident Evil 6 and the Leon edition. Now, this one for $1,300. I mean, you could buy a car for that, a bad car, but still a car. And for $1,300, you got yourself a copy of the game, obviously, and a leather jacket. A really nice looking leather jacket. It's the same leather jacket that Leon wears during the game, so you too can be Leon. It's $1,300 for a leather jacket. And I know leather jackets can be expensive, but could you have thrown in an art book? So this leather jacket, by all accounts, was really cool, but $1,300 for what is effectively a leather jacket. A cool leather jacket, which apparently was guaranteed to make you 72% more attractive, or your money back. 72%? Is that right? 72% more attractive. 72%? No, yeah, money back guarantee. By all accounts, it was actually a pretty sweet jacket, but still, it's just a jacket for $1,300. Let's move on. Grid 2, the Mono Edition. Now, you thought the last one was ridiculous. Prepare to have your mind blown. This one came in at I think a fairly decent price of 189 grand. That's right, 189,000. Yeah. So I bet you're thinking to yourself, what do you get for your 189 grand? Well, I'm here to tell you. That's why you clicked on this video. So you get yourself a copy of the game, a PlayStation 3 to play it on, and the main attraction here is you also get yourself a BAC Mono supercar. I don't mean a toy. I mean an actual, honest-to-God, real-life, you can drive it on the streets supercar. You also get a day at the factory to have it customized to your needs, and also get a customizable racing suit, gloves, and helmet. So with this one, I always thought to myself, what did they do with the insurance? Like, did they pay for that? Because, I mean, I find my own insurance for my normal car pretty expensive. I can't imagine what it would be on a two-seater mono supercar. So that one was a bit of a jump, but at least you actually get yourself a tidy little supercar to go with it. The next one, I'm not sure so much. So that one was a bit of a jump from the last one, and we're going to keep jumping even further. Let's move on to our next selection. Dying Light My Apocalypse Edition. Now this one would set you back a tasty, spicy 400k. 400 grand. Literally the price of an average house in Britain. Yeah. So what do you get for the price of a house? Well, let's take a look, shall we? So you get your own customizable zombie survival shelter. I'm not sure where they would build that. I'm guessing you'd have to have a plot of land available. You also get some night vision goggles, some parkour training, 2 headsets, adult diapers, an Xbox One, 4 signed steel bookcases for the game. Again, you only get 1 copy of the game, a trip to party with the developers, your face in an upcoming expansion of the game, and also, finally, as they've called it a human-sized, or all of us Earthlings call it a life-sized statue of a volatile-style zombie from in the game. I also think that confirms that the developers of Dying Light are, in fact, extraterrestrials. Now, obviously, this one, and when you start getting into these really high-end collectible editions, they're very, very clearly meant to be PR stunts. I'm not sure they ever think anyone ever bought this, and from what I could find in my research, I'm not sure anyone ever did buy this specific one either. 400 grand. Although you do get your own apocalypse shelter, so you're all set if something does happen. I guess if you're a survivalist or you want to prepare for the future, for the oncoming storm and the inevitable collapse of capitalistic society, well, I guess you've got the parkour training to help you move around. Alright, so before we get to number 1 on this list, I do want to throw in just a few honourable mentions. The reason these aren't getting their own dedicated section is because they weren't expensive enough. They weren't even really that expensive, to be honest. But they gave me a bit of a WTF moment in my research for this video, so I just wanted to include them so you know about them as well, because honestly, they are WTF. So first up, we have Call of Duty World at War. Now, this was a World War II themed game, and it came with a little canteen, or, you know, like a hip flask to drink from, like you have in the game. This was emblazoned with the Call of Duty World at War logo, and it was only $10 more than the game itself. The reason I'm throwing this into my WTF moment is because it was non-functional. I mean, a canteen has one function, and they took that function away because apparently it was lined with lead. So they sealed the top shut. It literally couldn't be used. It feels like it would have been cheaper to just get actual canteens and laser etch your logo on those. Moving on, though, to a little-known Japanese RPG called Record of Agarest War. This game is heavy on the strategy, but also contains a dating sim element. Now, this one was called the Really Naughty Edition. I'm genuinely not kidding, that's what it was actually called. That was stocked in shelves. So what will you get for the Really Naughty Edition? Well, let me tell you. So at only $20 more than the base game, for some, this wasn't a bad deal. It came with, you got a nice case to keep everything in, you also got an anime girl body pillow, yeah, and I'll put on screen now a picture of it, a mouse mat with an anime girl's assets used as the wrist rest. But yeah, the Really Naughty Edition, I don't think I need to explain why that gave me a WTF moment. And finally, Dying Light again. This time though with the Spotlight Edition. And this one would set you back a cool $10 million. Now, what would you get for your $10 million? Well, let me tell you. The main draw was that you got a role, a supporting role, in the upcoming Dying Light movie. You'd also get acting lessons from a professional Hollywood acting coach. You would get a voice acting part in an upcoming DLC of the game, along with a number of other little bits and bobs here and there, a copy of the script, signed props from the game and the films. So you get the idea. But the main draw was this supporting role. Not just a cameo, a supporting role in the upcoming film. Interestingly, the reason that this isn't my WTF isn't just because it was $10 million. It was also because the film actually never got made, assuming because no one actually bought the $10 million, so they had no funding. But if anyone did buy this, wow, I hope they kept the receipt. After all the WTF fun we've just had, let's move on to the final segment in this video. And we're here. Finally, and this is the Saints Row 4 Super Dangerous WOD Edition. Now, this one would set you back a beautiful $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1 million. Now, obviously, this is Saints Row. The whole concept of the games is joking about excess and just doing things to the extreme. I imagine that this collector's edition was more of a parody and satire of collector's editions instead of anything actually serious. But for the sake of this video, let's treat it as serious. If you actually bought this, what would you get for your $1 million? Well, let's run through the list, shall we? So first up, you get a copy of the game, which I would damn well hope so at that price point. You also get a Virgin Galactic flight into space, first-class trips to Dubai and Washington, D.C. When you return from these trips from outer space and the far reaches of the planet, you will be gifted a Lamborghini Gallardo, plus a Toyota Prius for those days where you just want to look after the environment. Unlike the Mono Edition, I know what happens with the insurance on this one because they will give you a year's insurance for both vehicles as well, which honestly is actually pretty decent. Now, that isn't the end of it. You'll also receive a hostage rescue experience, a spy training day, a personal shopper, a capsule wardrobe, plastic surgery. I'm not sure how that one's going to work, but, you know. Okay. And finally, a full-size replica of the dubstep gun from in the game. Now, if you were paying close attention, you may have noticed that you don't actually get a console to play the game on, so I'm sorry guys, I'm out on that one. Standard edition for me. Now, I've worked out, doing a little bit of mathematical calculations, that this is all worth only about $640k, so even if you can afford this, don't. What can we take away from all this then? Well, I think the main takeaway is that gamers are nuts and will spend enormous sums of money just to have the privilege of owning this special collector's edition. I've also been pretty harsh on collector's editions during this video, you know, doing a bit about making fun of them, saying how stupid they are. Honestly, I don't have a problem with them. If you love a franchise so much, or you're genuinely so excited about a release that you want the special collector's edition to have the little statue or the art book or anything like that because you are a collector, that's amazing. It doesn't matter how much it costs. It doesn't matter what it's technically worth or how much it costs to produce. It matters to you because you love it, because you have that passion, and that is fantastic, and I would never want to see that end. So I think I'm going to end the video there on that kind of happy note, and I thank you so much for watching if you've gotten this far. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. If you really enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it a like. It does mean the world to me, and it helps with the algorithm as well. And if you want to see more of my content in the future, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. If for whatever reason you want to watch some more of my content right now, there will be 2 videos appearing on screen now. The one on this side is my latest video, and the one on this side will be a suggestion from YouTube that they think you'll like of my collection. Again, thank you so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and you stay safe out there. Thank you.